Okay, let me put the screen video around. Okay, we got the video facing up. Okay, we're gonna start the board meeting at this time. Date is the 22nd of June, 2024. I'd like to get the roll call starting on my left here.
William Oakenbaugh present.
Randy Powell present.
Brandon Edgar present.
We have 4 board members here. We do have a quorum. As far as reading the minutes from the previous meeting minutes are posted out there for everybody to review. And I recommend that we bypass that.
I'll second it.
Second.
I don't think this.
Everybody hear me, right? No. Gotta speak a little closer. Okay. Yes.
I just told him.
Yeah, I gotta move this a little closer. It's on. You gotta get real close to it. Okay, so we had a second on the bypassing the meeting minutes reading. We have a vote bypass. Okay, we have 4 votes. We're on a bypass. It's already posted in the on the web page for folks to read. We're just trying to get things moving along here. Okay. Okay, first things first, we want to open we want to read the bids for lot A 327. Do we get any bids? Okay, the bid amount minimum was 1,500. Did we want to extend that or adjust the dollar amount? Any suggestions? Or just leave as is?
Try to take it down to 1,000. Hope to get someone else in on it.
Yes, because it does back up into a
It's not
creek.
very far.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a second, we have first and a second.
I'll second.
All in favor of reducing it to 1,000 and extending it out to the next board meeting, correct? Okay, I agree. We have a quorum on that. It's passed. Okay, and we do have another lot coming up for auction soon in C block. We want to discuss that later in new business.
We can do it now, later,
Okay,
but I think we should put it out there that we'll put it up.
okay. Well, we did obtain another lot in C block. What the owner owed us money, and in lieu, and we did get a judgment against him in court. In lieu of paying the judgment, he agreed to release the property back to us, and we will be selling that in a closed bid. If we don't ever advertise the lot number this time.
474.
3474.
C474. I haven't gone out there myself and looked at it yet, but so we haven't established a dollar amount. Okay, depends on what the lot looks like. Has anybody had a chance to go out there and look at it yet?
I know where.
Okay, I am talking loud, okay, and the microphone is on. Okay, can you move forward then? You can move forward if you want to. Okay. All right, so we don't have a. Okay, so we're not gonna establish a dollar amount at this time because we haven't yet to look at the property, look at does it have a septic tank? Does it have existing water? Is it already cleared? So once we get that, we will post it out on the web for a dollar amount. Oh, second. That's something down there. So it's somebody else. Okay, I'm just turning this one on now. Okay, can anybody hear me now on this one? All right. All right, so like I said, this lot that we are putting for sale, it will be posted on the web and we will show a minimum dollar bid for that. Closed bids will be accepted and they have to be received before the next board meeting, and the next board will most likely unseal the bids. So we need additional information out there on the web as soon as we establish a dollar amount. Okay. No, you may not. This is a board meeting. This is not your meeting. Please, it can't be silent. Step out the door. Thank you. Like I reminder, this is a board meeting and there's no public interaction, okay? So if you can't be quiet, then you can step out the door. Thank you. Okay, hold on, please. Check this. Oh, it's not down there. I'll eat myself. I'll take something here.
Kathy, this is a board meeting.
This is a
You
board
can't-
meeting, like I say.
No discussion with members. right
There's the door, there's the way for public, there's no public interaction. It's a pre-recorded, this is their final warning, if you wanna complain, there's the door. That's it, that's the last warning, no other warning, thank you. Okay, we're trying to run a meeting here, thank you. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Okay, we'll get on to the next item here. Architectural control. Right now, I've recently closed a lot of the open requests right now. I've got about 2 of them remaining open. One will be for a fence just off to the right of the hill, where you enter the hills. And there's another property down on Salt Cove that is yet to be approved. We're waiting for additional information, but I've pretty much caught up most of the architectural control issues. Okay. Yeah, pretty soon, this is really a decision of the next board, but when people request for architect controls, there's most likely gonna be a requirement that people put out a sign on the front of the lot. Because generally, these lots are unimproved, and you ride down the road, you can't tell one lot from another. It's very hard to find exact lot that people are intending to build on. So there might be a small requirement for you to put some kind of sign on the front, like a lot number. So when a person comes by to take a look at the lot, they know exactly what they're looking at, not neighbors. And that's pretty much common sense, and it will make the next board member's job much easier. So. Okay, next item, there, with architect control, there is a problem with drainage ditches not being maintained by the property owners, and I'll refer to Willem here later on, but part of architectural control is that you may not at any time obstruct the natural flow of water on the property or in the ditches. Okay, you're responsible for the ditch in front of your house and keeping it clear. So if you put a ditch there, if you put a culvert there, it's got to be minimum 12 inches. Of course, larger if there's more water flow on your property, but I'm gonna refer to that to William later on. Harbor Patrol, there hasn't been many thefts in the neighborhood recently. There have been a few assaults. There was one where a person entered someone's home and assaulted them recently. There's been some other small instances when there's more alcohol out there and it gets hotter, people get more irate. So please keep it down. There's some speeding in the neighborhood. The main road up there is 25 miles per hour. Most of the secondary roads are 15 miles an hour. Keep the speed down. There's children running around, and we don't want to have any accidents out there. So it's 15 on the main road. Most of the secondary roads are 15 miles an hour, and they are marked. So issue with that is also we have the side-by-sides. Side-by-sides have to be during the speed limit also. There's a lot of people driving around at extreme speeds. They need to keep the speed down. Okay. Yeah, okay, well, ATV. Yes. Well, in the, as you come in at the front of the neighborhood, there's a sign saying that the ATVs are not permitted.
They're all for example, back there behind the
Yeah.
desk. Oh, you're gonna deal with that? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is some video out there, and we've been contacting some people have private videos in front of their houses too, and we've been contacting them trying to narrow the person down, but William would talk more about that later also. All right. I'm gonna skip over to, I'll skip over the pools and parks real quick, since I'm over that at the moment. The pool's looking pretty good. It's being kept clean. People have been taking care of the bathrooms, so I want to appreciate that. We do have a shortage of volunteers. To date, I've only had one person actually come in to get trained. So, a lot of people want to use the pool, but lacking the volunteers. The volunteers do more than just sit there and make sure you come in. There's mandatory testing of the water. Has to be tested 4 times daily for chlorine, alkalinity, turbidity. Yeah, I think my system's getting ready to die. Okay, but there's more to it than just making sure you're allowed in the pool. You have to keep the bathrooms clean in case inspector comes by. You have to keep the pool paper in there. So there's a lot more to it than just showing up. I know a lot of people said, hey, I'll show up and I'll volunteer. They really can't do that because they're not really qualified. They don't know what they're doing out there. And if the inspector shows up, then we're gonna get nailed.
Well, we get an annual ice inspection. And she has not shown up, to the best of my knowledge, so we can't have somebody out there that doesn't know what they're doing, because they'll shut us down. But it shows them.
Yeah, because she will go through our books. She'll go through the books to make sure that the tests are being done and tests are being done correctly on the water. She does check for cleanliness and the operations of the bathroom. She can make sure we have all the emergency equipment out that's required. Make sure we have a 911 phone. There's lots involved more than showing up. So if you want to volunteer to pool, please contact me. I'll get you trained as quick as possible. In weekdays, I don't get home about 5:30 p.m. But in weekends, I'm more available. So if you let me know, I'll come down here. It should take maybe about a half hour to get trained. So I want to appreciate that. Any other questions about the?
The only thing I want to remind people, I was looking at the office yesterday and a lady came in while Jean's was out there. And asked what she had to do to go in and swim. And I asked what her name was, and I said, well, the pool's not open. I said, there's a class in there, it's a special circumstance. Pool won't be open today. She said, oh, well, we're in an Airbnb. I said, I'm sorry, Airbnb members or Airbnb guests cannot go to the pool. She goes, well, our host said that we can. I said, your host has misspoken. We cannot use the pool. And I'm sorry, at this point, it's irrelevant because it's not open. As of this conversation, it's not gonna be open today, and I don't think it'll be open this weekend, so, but the host did misspeak out of turn.
Right, well,
Maybe cannot use the.
yeah, there's only 5 Airbnbs in the neighborhood, and all of them are already aware of that rule. So I'm not sure what the issue is.
The one in particular has been noted several times.
Yeah.
That she continues to advertise it that way. Anyway,
Okay.
it kind of resolved itself, but just
Yeah.
a reminder, Airbnb guests cannot use the pool.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, like I said, after that, no further questions on that. I get to go to the Vice President, Susan Hunt.
I really don't have much. I have turned all of the things over to Brandon, the extra things that I've been doing for a while. I've turned everything over to him. Doing a great job. He's very smart. He's a numbers guy. He's actually shown me a few things on Appleia that I didn't know he had the capacity to do, but he's doing great. I was glad to turn it over. So I'm glad he's here with us. The small claims court, there's 3 that I'm going to take care of next week that we talked about from the tax sale. 3 properties went and paid their taxes right before the sale, but their dues are very delinquent, so we're gonna go to small claims over that, but Brandon and I went over these outstanding ones that we still have. One of them said if they were not served, he tried to call them, and we got the right number. And he hung up on us. And so we tried to call him back, and so Brandon texted him and said, hey, you know. So we're gonna serve him again, because since we know we have the right address and all the right information on file. Another gentleman we called, the phone number we have on file and address, and he said, I don't know how you got my phone number on there, I don't know how you got my address on there. I don't own property there. We tried to go back through the history, and he said that guy was his dad, right?
Yeah,
How did we do that?
when I spoke with them, I checked about the dad, asked was, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd asked him if that was, this is the old number still in the county, is that your father? That's my father's name, okay, here's the address we filed, he's like, he's never owned the property out there. No, he's never looked at that address, but when we did a search, even just in Oklahoma, the dad's name, there was actually like 5 others. So somebody had added in that account, that son's name, but it was the wrong one. So we actually, at this time, don't have a contact for if the dad died, who the actual owner would be at this time.
And that's verified against the county record.
County record still has it under the old man that passed away. And and anyone we found, is we found 5 or 6 people with the same name on with county record. Every one of them's died, anywhere from 2008 to 2022. And we noticed, taxes were paid up until this year, they haven't paid this year's taxes.
Well, like we did with the Kearns residence, he had passed away. And we end up getting a county sheriff's sale on that property. So if the person is on the records has passed away, we go that route. So
Yeah, we
sheriff's sale.
that one unfortunately maybe one we have to wait.
Okay.
So we're just shelving that one. I don't want to keep serving somebody that's not even the right person. It's a waste of money.
Agree.
We have another person that we have the right information. I think that he just wouldn't answer the door or whatever, but we're gonna try it again. And we have a secondary address that we found that appears that he has moved to. So we're gonna try that one more time. And then this one. We have a new address that we found on the county, so we're gonna try to sort of that. So we're gonna reserve a couple of them, and then those 3 that we talked about from the tax sale, we're gonna do those.
Yes.
I know that it is very, very time consuming trying to track down who owns a property. I mean, he and I spent what, 45 minutes on one file yesterday.
Yeah.
And I personally feel that the members, the buyers and sellers need to notify us. We just don't have the time. You know, we track down when we can, when we're advised, but they need to be telling us when they sell stuff, especially right before dues. You know, if you've bought or sold, whatever, you need to let us know so you're not billed for that. So we
Yeah.
can bill, you know, correctly. So
Well, there's a lot of
we can't
people,
track down people.
yeah, there's a lot of people who've sold their property via quick claim deeds. And the new owner has yet to go down to county to transfer to their name. So it's still showing in the old person's name.
And I think we updated every single one that we.
Good find.
could.
I think the big flaw with that one is to the fact is why you can see on county records, like when quit claim deeds filed. That doesn't guarantee that that property actually was sold correctly. So we've had that where, fortunately this time we didn't, but I know I spoke with 4 different people that have had ones filed on their records are like, we didn't sell them. So then we had to go back and fight them. So if we change some of those without speaking with somebody first, it's kind of flawed. So that was what we did this last time to get caught up is we took time to either, we called the older person that used to have it and sold it to at least get a verification and then go, hey, we need contact info because until they pay their taxes, we don't get any type of mailing address on county record. So then we go, okay, you know, do you have that contact? But same thing, if somebody sells the quit claim deed and then they don't want to speak to us anymore, now we have no contact for the new person either, so we'll never have a way to get a hold of them.
Right.
People don't tell us.
Okay, and there's 2 instances in the neighborhood that I know of recently that I dealt with. one property owner bought a lot here via quit claim deed about 2 years ago. And he's been paying county taxes on it and paying POA dues on apparently, well, when I know, the real owner stepped up and said, what are you doing paying my county taxes for? And then apparently he bought it off a woman, and this is a man that owns that lot since 1992. There's people going around here in the neighborhood. Maybe not necessarily live in this neighborhood, but there's people in around this area who are forging quit claim deeds and looking for people to buy them. You might want to look really close into that. So with these quit claim deeds, it's not a guarantee that you were buying it from a valid owner.
Go through a title company.
Yes.
Had all that done through them. Don't tell them what you buy.
Yeah, and then I was down at county courthouse. I talked to everybody here about that. There was a couple in there from Texas. Supposedly, they said they were from Texas at the county clerk's office, working on updating their quit claim deed for 2 lots, pretty close to where I live at. And then later on, I introduced myself out front, and that's just as a property owner. And they handed me a card, and I went back and checked to see if they were the registered owners of those 2 lots, and they weren't. Somebody else owned them. Contacted the property owner of those 2 lots and told them there might be a scam going on, that someone's trying to change the deed at the county clerk's office. I talked to the county clerk later on, and she really didn't care. She said, well, we just follow what's given to us. She didn't care there was possible fraud going on. So don't look for the county clerk to watch your back. You tell them there's fraud going on, they will ignore it like they did me. So be real careful about who you buy from. So
I think I showed you that where our house sits.
Yes.
We got a phone call one day. It was a fluke thing. They didn't know our make calls, but they called to verify our phone number, and
Yeah.
so we just want to update for the records for your property you're selling. I was like, I'm not selling a property. And long story short, someone had signed my husband's name to a quit claim deed on the property where our house sits, and we were like, I want to see it, because we're not selling it. And they refused to show it to us, but they at least did not proceed, but they
Yeah.
did not show us. And I said, my husband didn't sign anything.
Yeah.
So if there is fraud out there, it's
Yeah.
not something that's managed or governed at all. You come in with a notarized quit claim deed, they're just gonna do it.
Yeah, and there's squatters out there. If they see a vacant
Yeah.
property, they will move in. We had to help get some people moved out of a trailer in the neighborhood before they got really situated. So have somebody watch your lot. If you're not around, have a neighbor watch it for you. If something doesn't look right, have the neighbor call you. Got another guy who owns a property out there on let's see, Cardall Circle. Somebody's putting up a electrical box in front of his house. It was disconnected. Somebody's putting up electrical service to his property. He's not renting, he's not selling. Okay, it looks pretty suspicious. Someone's putting that electrical lot up that they're getting ready to move in. It's not him. So be careful. You have any more to go?
The only other thing is, please update us with information contact, because I still have people calling saying I never got a statement. I don't have emails or phone numbers. And we are still taking check payments. To date, knock on wood, we have not had one check return that was paid.
If they have the check, where can they take it to?
They can take the brand, give it to him up there at the store.
Okay, so if you have,
Or they can mail it, obviously. They
Yeah.
can mail it to us or take it directly if they're in the park.
okay, so either mail it into the Al Drive address, or they can stop by, see Brandon on the way in the gate there and drop off their check. So. All right, great. Okay, next we go to is that it? Next. Okay, next treasurer.
Okay, currently in the general fund, we've got $100,069, $1,069,000, $946. In the road fund, we've got $43,641. To date, we brought in $60,000 at 478 dues for this year. Now, in back dues, we've gotten about 11,000 paid up to this year. So you're looking about it's 71,912 brought in due payments. For this month alone, we brought in about 7,500. Our expenses for the year so far are 13,000, the general expenses of electric, water, trash. For this month so far, it's $1,389, but the trash hasn't came out yet for this month, but that's because of last month having it to be like 1,100, I think. So we're looking there. You got so far this month, and this was all done up to yesterday, 5 p.m. We've had harbor patrol, just under 1,200, 1,191 or 13,000 for the year. And we brought in so far in road funds, $12,474 in general, and that's where, so we're sitting right now at a positive total income of 85,000 brought in for the year with an expense of 35,000. And that's just, we're halfway through the year on expenses. So you're still not counting things like need to fix the roof, have to replace that full cover. We're on track to do that by that 70,000 and expenses. So the big part there, the most of it is going into some of the things of potential goals that anyone might want to look at, that I could advise is yes, I think we're still getting back dues paid, which is great. But being this is a business, we have to, and I haven't made a budget from when I looked. Usually they're presented in August, so that's when I'll present one for next year. The general part is that we're gonna bring in around 70,000 in dues for this year. Obviously, the goal is to always keep getting back dues covered and get more people paying. But as a business plan, we can't leave it as, oh, if we can guarantee 70,000 the last basically 3 years of income, not counting back dues, and our expenses are right at 70,000. We're dead center breaking even, but that's not really counting in, like I said, this roof's leaking, it's 8,000. The quote you got is 8,000, which I think we need to get some more quotes, but to keep fixing things and even improving things as a business, you have to plan on what you're actually getting and then go, okay, I need to increase that. Because you can't guarantee back dues, even though every board will continue to keep trying to get them. Can't guarantee that. Can't guarantee owed money in any type of business. You have to look at what can we bring in just off the dues, and that's where we're going to get into those are going to have to go up in some plan. We've got to bring in more so that it's not just we're scraping by, but at least because we're not negative, fortunately, but we're not bringing in extra so that we can keep making new improvements and do new things to keep everyone inside. And I spoke with the insurance company, that we are filling out paperwork to renew it. It's not due till September, but we have already started the process at least just to do that. Some of the general things they gave us is same rules we've had. You're not supposed to have state laws, not supposed to have food and drinks in the pool. As long as you have it posted, you're okay. Pools and parks, their big thing is if anything happens with alcohol, it should not cover. They won't cover it, but she just advised as long as you got signs up. You have a rule, if the signs are up, usually don't have liability, you just can't monitor everyone. And then once again, like I said, I'm at the store 7 days a week. If somebody wants to come in and pay their dues in person, I'm there. I will print off from my printer a physical receipt so they even have one. We found some stuff the last 2 years where there's no way to know what happened, that they paid their dues. They said they did, but the system said they didn't. They went to their bank and brought in proof of it. So we were able to actually verify, oh, they did pay their dues. And there was just something happened that there'd be a month deleted from their record where they paid. But we had a few of that happen, but fortunately able to fix that. And that's even where anyone that's paid me, even if they sat there and I set them up on their phone. I was like, give me a second. I went and printed up a physical paper to just like, this way you also have a physical piece of paper, especially on the older couples, people that don't handle technology well, it at least gives them something to put in their file.
I didn't know if most of those have been POA payments or like a third party,
No, those 3
They were all personal.
They were all personal payments.
Personal checks?
Yeah, checks where they paid, they said they paid either in the office last year or the year before, but
Yeah.
fortunately, we didn't have any. There was one that he thought he paid. He called his bank and they're like, sir, you never did. He was happy to pay afterwards. But there was three others that they had said four others that said they paid, ended up bringing us records and showing us. And fortunately, I was able, with me being new, there wasn't animosity. I was honest. I'm still training, but it doesn't say this here, so all I can tell you is I need some type of proof.
Yeah.
They all happily found it, brought it to me, and we were able to resolve those.
Okay, it's all checked. Okay. Any questions, any further questions? Okay, and the current sheet will be posted on the 1st of June, correct?
Yeah,
Oh, like, hey,
With the
1st of July.
Yeah,
first
with
of July.
the- Yeah, with the.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll update the delinquency list and the income segment at that time.
okay. Do we want to accept his report?
I'll first the motion.
Okay, and a second, all in favor? Okay, we have, Foreman, so accepting the report. Okay, next we have, I already spoke about pools and parks. Next we have roads and utilities. William,
So, okay, so road work, I'm gonna continue on road work starting next week on Tuesday. I'm on the schedule for gravel. I've got the loader landscaper reserved. I'm thinking about getting an excavator too. We're gonna need it to, if we can get a 10-horn, put a 10-horn out here and fix the handicap parking spot on the back of the office. So like I said, road works will continue Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm gonna start down on Skyview because I've got a property damage issue going on down there. Part of the reason I need the loader landscaper is I need the rippers on the box blade to knock out that big hole that is causing all the issues, so.
is that the year where there's fresh league gravel sitting at right now? Is that the spot, at the very bottom,
There's a little bit farther down.
further?
That's what the big drive.
I know there's a lot of I know there's a lot of bedrock sticking out of the ground.
Yeah, I'll get all that covered up. And work the water, work the road where water plane is. I'm gonna work that road, try to get it where at least the dump truck will drive down it. And get them to spray gravel on that one and just kind of, hit the areas. I don't think there's that many roads left to do. We've got just under $30,000 before we get that $15,000 buffer, so we should be able to finish that and get that stuff done.
Yeah, 30,000 is enough to pave a road, but it's enough to get gravel.
Right, yeah, it's enough to gravel, so.
On that Skyview property, I was actually over there last night. And the neighbor had some landscaping, a gravel body, something. And those people went out and flattened it, like put extra dirt that they dug up and put it on the road with gravel. But they put it on there where it was just a mud hole. And pressed it down, so it's not gravel, but they went, tried to do something.
And the whole thing is, if you don't tear that ring from the mud hole out, as you drive over it, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
They just, you have to get that hard packed ring around the outside of the pothole. You have to dig that out, otherwise, as it rains, it's gonna sit there and hold moisture.
Yeah, it's
As you
not,
drive across, it's gonna throw little bits of material out.
yeah, so it's not perping through that hard packed dirt.
It's not gonna, it holds it like a bowl, it holds it like
Yeah.
a cereal bowl. And every time you drive over it, it's got moisture down at the bottom of it, it's gonna throw a little bit of gravel. It's gonna throw a little bit of gravel. Well, over time, the more you drive over it, the pothole comes back. So if you don't rip that hard edge and then cover it, you just run in circles.
Did you see the 110 horn that one of the owners replaced down
Yeah.
there? Looks pretty good.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna talk about in the actual POA meeting, the issues with the ATVs. I'm close to finding out who that is, so deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of neighbors got private cameras pointing to the road,
Oh, yeah.
and we're zeroing down on the people. So
I've got several pictures right now. I'm gonna get with Don, work that out, we'll figure out I have called the county sheriff. County sheriff said there's really no crime in the damage they did back here by the dumpsters. But being that they're not, ATVs aren't allowed on county roads or our roads, they can be fined. And that will be the first step, is a fine and an opportunity to go back and fix it. Next time an ATV is caught on the road, and county sheriff's going to fine it. ATVs are not allowed on these roads.
Yeah, it is posted at the
I
entry
work with the
point.
County sheriff all day long if they're gonna do crap like that, they've done back there.
Yeah,
Back to the tin horn, you asked about getting one.
Yeah.
If, maybe we could ask them if if there's somebody with a trailer that can help us get one, we could facilitate the fee for it. My trailer's not big enough to do that, but I have here with me, but maybe there's somebody that would be willing to go up there and get it from,
And I was gonna ask, my
in
neighbor,
that hardware there on the highway, right outside of
he's got a 16-foot trailer and my Jeep will pull it, but
Okay.
I mean, it won't pull it loaded down, but with a 10 one on. it, my
Okay.
Jeep will pull it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
they-
there's three of us that can facilitate things for it, so.
that'll work.
so it's gonna be about a foot in diameter, 16 to 20 foot, probably.
I got a 16 to 20 foot. We have to use a 12-inch.
Yeah.
I don't think, I'd like to address that in the PO, in the POA meeting as a change. I think the tin horns need to be per application, because there's places like if I put a 12-inch tin horn in front of my place, you're gonna have to dig down below the ditch. And
Yeah.
And then the tin horn's gonna have to fill up, which is gonna cause plugs, but there's other places over here on Phillips that you put a 30-inch tin horn in there and still put.
Yeah.
3 foot of dirt on top of it.
How big is mine
Yeah, that's-
across the street?
Yeah.
It's still. not
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, you could probably put a,
You can put a car down there.
yeah. And see, that's another thing too, that, that as deep as that ditch is over there, the county should probably come up with guardrail.
Yeah.
I've asked them, I've talked
Yeah,
to two
they're-
people, and they say they're gonna look into it, but I haven't heard it.
Yeah, that's all I.
It's dangerous, it's very
You
dangerous.
could turn a car over in that ditch.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I looked at some of the roadways in block C and D, and there's an established ditch, and a lot of the ditches are either filled in or they got tin horn that's jam-packed full, so the water is looking for alternate means. And so it goes right out in the middle of the road and it's digging ruts now. So most of the issues are being caused by the property owners.
That's
The water coming off their land's going straight out in the road and tearing the road up.
address the POA, that,
Yeah.
ditches are, property owner responsibility, and also, some of these undeveloped properties that, are abandoned or not being anything done with, and they've got a, old driveway covered in grass with tin horns plugged up. Let's start yanking those tin horns and laying them in the yard. Because it's starting to affect the money that everybody in this neighborhood's putting on the roads.
And because it's a restrictions violation.
Yeah.
Impeding the flow of water. Yeah.
There has to be that's gonna be addressed too. So
Okay.
that's pretty much all I've got.
Okay. Do we have any new business you want to discuss or?
No, they,
This-
we'll probably talk more about it.
Yeah.
At least two, but really three volunteers for the voting table, so the judge and
Oh.
the three positions. for the
Yeah, hold on,
voting
please.
table. So I have one that is willing to do it. Just not sure if that person can last the whole day, so. But I put a post out on social media. So we'll get something back. I think there's another one that will be willing to do it, but she's on vacation and I think that will for it.
Yeah, this here is pretty much a timeline that we have between today and between the annual voting. Yeah, we have to get the appointment of the people election committee, 3 positions. And we have timeframes when we have to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just a guide, really.
Working on it.
And yeah, this is a guide that's taken out of the actual rules here. So it'll help you out, hopefully.
Well, before we get to the members meeting, I think we need to figure out and we may have to ask the members how to deal well on the whole conversation we're having over nominations. Because Article 6 does not mention.
Yeah, you're right.
That, so we.
Yeah.
And I just saw it here on this one as well.
Mhm.
So we maybe just scratch that part out, but they just
Yeah.
Present isn't required.
Okay,
So
Expect,
just confirm that they
Yeah.
for sure want to do it.
what, members?
Someone that may be nominated.
Oh,
if they're not here to
If they're not
personally accept, that one of us will reach out to them to verify if they do want to accept it. Because if they don't, you just say, just put a public post, hey, they denied
yes,
the nomination. And it covers it, so we're not grabbing someone in that didn't want to.
no, just so we're clear, we're talking about the Article 6, which deals, with, nominations. That's what we're talking about. And,
In the past, there have
Yeah.
been previous boards that have stated that if there's a requirement to be nominated to run for the board, you had to be here in person to accept that nomination. Being it was brought up to us, we actually went back and read Article 6. It never mentions it, so we can't enforce something that even if the whole board did it, it wasn't correct. So if people nominate somebody that's not physically here to accept, basically it's the board gonna have to, we'll go and then verify with those people that they accept that nomination.
so it's, yeah, I talked to a previous board member. It's been going on for years.
Right.
And it's been commonly accepted.
Had it
Yeah.
since 2010 that I could tell. what-
Yeah, okay.
Why couldn't you do it for all nominees, whether they're here or not? Do something like your ballot.
Yeah.
Where, you know, this person was nominated, accept or decline, sign it, and then post it on the board out there.
Yeah, that'd be an
That
idea.
way there's, I mean, it's public.
It's a
You know, we
policy.
don't have to do posts, we don't have to post it on that board out there.
Yeah.
And anybody that wants to go up
Put
and
it
look
on
at
the
it, if
website,
they
too.
accept. Yes, yes or no. That's, I mean, that'd be the easiest way to.
Take a screenshot, put it on the website too.
Okay. Any further, well, we actually probably won't be the next board meeting will be a different group of people. Okay, and that date is already established when it is and what time it is. I wouldn't say it's the public meeting followed by the board. Yeah, the annual board meeting immediately follows the election results, or in accordance with bylaw amendment. There is a bylaw amendment. So we will not be on the next board meeting. It will be the new members at the next board meeting. So, and that date and the time are pretty much already fixed. So, so this will be our last board meeting. So we'll be present at the members meeting. Okay, but at the board meeting, we'll step away, new board rolls in.
I personally want to be available to them for a little bit, you know, make sure the transition is smooth.
Yeah, and by,
It's very overwhelming, my first time.
oh yeah, it is. And according to bylaws, there's a 10-day changeover period for the bylaws. So the old board members have approximately 10 days to roll over all information, keys, etc., bank accounts. They have 10 days to roll it over to the new board. So just let everybody know. Okay, well, I think that concludes our board meeting dated 22nd of June. And we're gonna take a short recess break. It's 5 minutes till. Take a short recess break. And,
Sure.
oh, okay. All right, all in favor? Aye, it's over. Recess break, we'll be back in 5-6 minutes or so. Hey, turn your mics off. And I'm gonna.
I can't do it. tin horn being, plugged. It's running water across the road and putting the gravel all at the bottom or digging big ruts in it. So I'm gonna start pulling them and sitting in there.
But remember, you have to give them notice of the issue by law before you can pull anything off of the, torn out of the deal. You have to give them proper notice in order to give them time to get it fixed and regulated before you can pull anything. If you do, you become you're tearing up their property.
Okay, wouldn't there notice be in the bylaws?
It doesn't matter, you still have to verbally give them notice, just like our security, they can come and just on warning, I need you to quiet it down per the harbor law, they give them a warning. You give them warning, you give them an opportunity. What makes you a better person by not giving somebody the opportunity to correct something just like you would a child? Son, we cannot do that, you cannot do that, no longer do this. You teach them. Then once you taught them, they understand and they maintain and take care of it. But you don't just go and rip up something, you don't go and pull your child up and start beating their ass in the fact, because they didn't know they were doing something wrong. You teach them the proper way. You don't just pull something up.
Okay.
Okay, because the first time you pull something in mine, you'll be talking to my attorney.
But if you have to develop property,
And I've got a car, and I'll make sure that they take care of it. But the deal is, you don't do anything to mine. Because mine is in perfect shape, because I know what I need to do. But a lot of
Right.
people don't understand. So we gotta teach them the rights and wrongs, right? Just like we would a child. They have to understand what is right and what's wrong. You gotta give them an opportunity to understand.
So, how much, effort would you recommend that I go through? Just hear me out, that I go through to send them a certified letter in the mail, or call on the phone, or send an email, or?
Is there anything, my question is there anything in the books that says we have to give them a letter, we have to give them a phone call, anything like that? Maybe that's something that needs to be in there.
For cleaning your yards, it is mentioned there, giving a 2-week notice, but there is no notice required for the ditches.
The districts have been neglected for years.
Well, for water, definitely, I can see that, I come from Texas, and we don't have water. So, you know, coming over here, you guys do have water, and I can definitely see, like she was talking, or if somebody's culvert's blocked up, how that could definitely tear up her property and park. So, like, how much notice do we have to get, is there a way to put that on the books? We
What,
can have stipulations.
what I would look at it personally is, it would be equivalent to the way the bylaws read for if somebody's in any type of violation of restriction, because this would be on a restriction level, take care of your own ditch. I think, yes, we should have to send a notice by it. You only gotta do 2 weeks. And like you said, once you send a notice for that, you can send the notice. You can shoot, it actually, that's one of those weird ones, files, you can choose to send a fine. But in any fashion, if you send a notice and then they don't do anything, then it does state in the rules, the board can then act to remedy that. So then it would be, yeah, send it, give them 2-3 weeks, and then go. But at least if it's 2 weeks, we're legally exactly that. If we send at least a notice for 2 weeks ahead of time, we've at least made sure we've given them a chance to call us. Because then if they just refuse to call us, that's on them for not choosing to enact.
Yeah, because there's really nothing spelled out in the bylaws that says, like you have to clean your ditch, you have to, it specifies the size of the tin horn.
It says
That's
take
all.
care of it, but it
Take
doesn't
care of
say
it.
what that means.
So is that something maybe we need to address in bylaws, or go ahead and
Yeah.
have that in here, a specification of, you can't impede the flow of water.
It
And-
states in there you can't impede the flow of water.
Yeah,
It
So-
does say in your property, anything you do on your property, you cannot impede the flow of water. It does say that in there.
Well, so.
Yeah, that would get classified under that
Yeah,
rule.
maybe we need.
Yeah,
Add, you'll receive notice.
it doesn't specify it, but that would. take
Okay.
care of it.
You'll dig it up. Don't dig it
Yeah.
up.
okay, can I go to the question here, please?
Yeah, well, we don't have, with your.
No, we have to
No.
go.
We have,
Okay.
that, we're getting to that. There's,
Yeah, that's what it's for.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We got one of them.
The thing about what's, I'm all for things, but, the thing about the bylaws, no matter what it says, it's still subject to Oklahoma state law supersedes anything in the bylaws. So, you know, give the notice to people, in my opinion, the right safe way. You know, if you don't give notice to people, you're trespassing. Oklahoma law takes over.
Well, not, actually not. They're not on your property.
I'm saying, whatever we have in the bylaws is superseded by Oklahoma state law. So we can put in, you know, it has to be in their right. Going by that. When you start getting the property, I'm not, you know, debating all that, I'm saying.
My frustration, the whole thing, we've been talking about this for 2 years with the water damage, with flood panels and stuff like that, it's still damaging the road.
It's frustrating.
I get that.
Okay, we want to get this meeting rolling here.
I'm sorry. Somebody has texted and said they can't hear us, but watching, I don't know. They said they could see it, but they can't.
Oh, on YouTube?
I guess.
Okay, I'm recording in Zoom and it's feeding YouTube automatically. Audio's up. Okay. Right now, are they hearing? Okay, well, we'll continue to look at that, but
Yeah.
okay. We are recording. It is recording through the cloud too. So if it doesn't record right on YouTube, then I get to take my copy and override it, hopefully. Okay. Oh, and the easement areas like in front of your house, you need to call 811, call before you dig. There's a lot of folks out there that will tear a tree down, rip some tree roots out. They'll want to put a post in there or something in the easement area. Make sure you get the call before you dig taken, because if you don't, you cut through the easement and then you'll be paying for damages. So, okay. Harbor Patrol, we got golf carts, UTVs throughout the neighborhood. Golf carts and UTVs are permitted, specifically mentioned, they are permitted. Pretty much anything else out there as far as ATVs, 6-wheelers, 8-wheelers, motocross bikes, go-karts, mini bikes, those sorts of things aren't allowed on our roads. You know, county road is specific about that. If deputy sheriff catches you, they will take your name, write you up, that kind of thing. So William's going to talk more about the ATVs later. 16 years old, no kids driving the vehicle.
Correct my home, when I first come up there, I checked this on that. And I have a Gator, has 6 wheels, it goes 18 miles an hour top speed with a steering wheel, which that is part of the code I was told. That kind of steering wheel, not allowed on the.
Sounds like that would fall under like a UTV. Sounds like that would fall under UTV. I'm mostly talking, we had like there's like an amphibious.
No, not
Yeah, but there's like an amphibious vehicle. I got video zooming around the neighborhood. It's got multiple wheels on it and all like that, and it's got handlebars.
Okay.
But that's what we're referring to. It sounds like a UTV. It's pretty much the same thing, just additional traction. Yeah.
As long as it has a steering wheel.
Okay.
Sounds like you're good. It's just that, we're trying to keep the
No handlebar.
other ones out.
I appreciate it. I was like, man,
Okay, no problem. All right. 16 years old, no kids driving these things. Even if they're on your lap, I've seen a lot of adults sitting there with the foot on the pedal and the kid steering. That's the same thing as kid driving. A question? Mhm. Yes.
And I do actually go to the mailbox every day. Help my dogs, that's there.
You say-
Ride around. I go to the trash. Maybe a couple of times a week. And that's all I use it.
I understand. Yeah. So you do have an ATV, right? Okay. Now this is the county law, and it was like 2012. Huh? Yeah.
So we went to the. Then we got these kids over, so. On our place, and we said, well, we don't get out there very often, so I don't think you'll be in
Well,
With that, the county sheriff can impound that if it's on the road document.
When they keep catching, I guess I'll tell you.
County sheriff
you gotta
can
catch it
impound
first,
that.
right?
I've thought,
Okay.
and I'll address some of that later in. Yeah.
Right, because I don't want that, right.
Yeah.
Just have a request, just so we can maybe get through things. I do appreciate all that you're doing, but instead of like going through what's allowed and not allowed, can we go through new business so we can get to the questions at least?
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm gonna go, okay, well, I'm gonna scroll through the rest of my items here, okay, in interest of getting back to the juicy part that you guys are really interested in, so. Okay, I'm gonna finish the harbor patrol, just keep an eye out for your neighbor, that's all I'm gonna say. Report anything, you see anything suspicious, contact Don or Butch, you see anything suspicious. That's, okay, I'll end my portion at that. We are still looking for volunteers for the pool, if you want to volunteer. Question,
Can you turn it up just a little bit?
the volume?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
There you
yeah,
go.
I gotta move it close to my mouth. Okay, these are more closer. All right, so I'm gonna put that real quick for the pool. We're still looking for pool volunteers. I trained somebody on Thursday, so we do have a new person. But it takes a half hour to train somebody. So contact me in the evenings on weekdays, weekends. I'll come out there, train you real quick, and then you can open the pool as a volunteer. That's all I'll say about that. Quick, Vice President.
Just to add to what you just said, I brought it up in the first meeting, just a reminder. Airbnb guests cannot use the pool. I had 2 inquiries to go into the pool, B&B guests. And it remedied itself because the pool wasn't even open, but Airbnb guests cannot use the pool, and she said her host or advertised that they could. But Airbnb guests cannot use the pool.
So can we do Airbnbs now?
No,
They were grandfathered in.
Or we can also contact Airbnb and say it's false advertisement too. So. Okay.
Right here on Ford, there's like 3 trailers there now. He said he was gonna pay dues to be able.
Are you talking about Gower entryway?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not, that area is not part of the POA. It is not within our borders. He does not have to follow POA rules. He pays no POA dues. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said he was gonna pay the dues.
no, that's not correct. He did address us, I want to say about 2 years ago, but he was turned down. We're not gonna be the receptacle for agencies outside of our area, because that can get really messy. Okay, but he is, that little trailer thing inside the entryway is not part of the POA. He doesn't have to abide by the rules. I get a lot of questions on that. Why can he do it and I can't do it? He's not inside of our borders, basically. All right, thank you. Anything further?
on your son.
Yours, Treasurer? All right. Treasurer?
Well, I did want to just say a couple things since I'm next on the list here, but sorry. Brandon, I have turned everything over to him. Glad to turn it over to him, but he has doing a great job. He'll be a good treasurer, so I have every confidence that he's going to take care of things very well. We had one unpaid tax bill that somehow didn't get paid in December because it was titled a little different than all the other ones, so we paid that. We are in good standing now on that. I'm not gonna talk about the insurance because Brandon will. And, I would just like to take one moment if I can. So, as the secretary, I have done my very best the last 15, 16 months to do extra duties that were not mine to do, and I've done them to the best of my ability. I've learned a lot, and I think that this place is a great place. And I hope the incoming board does well. I hope they get the changes done we want to do, but it takes a village to run a village, and four volunteers cannot do in a timely manner what everybody wants done. We all need to work together, not against each other, and I just hope that incoming people, whoever they are, really what the community wants, in my opinion. They want to talk to us, they want us to be available, they want us to be present, they want us to do what we can within the rules. And I think we always try to do that, all of us, and, I have enjoyed what I've done, so I'm glad, I was very glad to turn over what I was doing to Brandon, that I have done to the best of my ability, and I'm grateful that I was able to do what I did do. That's all I got.
Well. Treasurer?
Okay, as of today, the general fund has $169,000, 946 and 2 pennies. Your road fund has $43,641 and 2 pennies. Up to date to this year, as of 5 PM yesterday, we brought in 60,000 in dues for this year. For the year in back dues, we have gained 11,000 in back dues recovered. In general, for the year at this point, our expenses have a total to 35,000. We're only halfway. You're looking about having a total expenses of 70,000. Last year, that's what we brought in was 70,000. So we're currently, with the amount of dues being paid, we are sitting at a break even. That means you can't really do improvements very easily. Fortunately, we are getting back dues paid, but as a business plan, you cannot guarantee that. You always say we're trying to get back dues, but I cannot make a business plan based on always getting debt paid. So in that general thing for everyone to think about is the current, in any form or fashion you go about it, the amount of dues being paid and collected are just enough to pay the bills. In that same thing, our road fund, we collected so far this year in the road fund, $13,349. That's pretty much on par with what we got last year. So you're also getting in, while the road fund has extra money right now, he's gonna do a lot of work. That also means if you spent down to 15,000 every year, this year, that only gives us about 13,000 to do roads. That's not a lot of money to do roads on. But that at least gives you guys a general info of it. We went to the tax auction on June 10th. So if any lots didn't get purchased, we were gonna buy them. That way they wouldn't sit in purgatory with the county. Fortunately, all of them were bid on and purchased that went up for bid. A lot of them, over half of them that they were supposed to, didn't actually even get put up. So we'll continue to try to do that every year that way, and we'll also work on a plan of, there's some lots the county owns, they never got sold at an auction. So we will work on reopening those so we can get them back and get them to owners that will pay dues, because once we get them, that wipes away any debt. So, and that gives you, and then insurance, we already started the process of renewing our insurance. It's not due till September, but we're in the process at least, so it's got the general things. And that'd be, if you wanna make payments, you need help. I'm at my store 6 to 7 days a week up there at the front. Come in, I can take payments via check or help you set up your account online. And if you pay with me, I'll make sure you get a physical receipt. Just as you're gonna do it with me, I wanna make sure you have that in case something happens. And I'm done.
So what are we doing about the 40% of current 2024 dues that haven't been collected?
Well, I just stepped into this position, so I'm working on training and giving you valid numbers and just given today. Obviously, one of the big things is we don't have any type of updated contact. Same thing if somebody sells a lot with a quit claim deed, if they don't notify us, now we have no contact information. We've sent letters to a lot, they filed liens, they have gotten judgments on properties. We've in fact gotten 2 properties up that will be, by this month will be up for auction. So we're working on it, but it's fixing to have a new board that will all then have to work on getting accustomed to doing that as well.
I think
Yep.
there should be a plan, part of the budget. But expect that get that.
Well,
tax rate up.
I'll give you a budget in August, because that's the one each year when it gets put up.
It really shouldn't be that the people are paying, I would expect them to pay more. Because they're just going to discourage, by doing that. People that are already paying, they're going to say, well, why the heck should I pay? We're just going to accept that 40% of our membership does not pay the current due.
Yeah.
Not back.
Yeah, we've been filing for judgments. We filed for 10 judgments against people recently and just went through court. And we're getting ready to file for another 3 right now. So, but it is a slow process. Right, right.
You have current dues for all dues paid. For this 40% of the.
Yeah,
What I hear is the phrase that we need more money. When there's money on the table. Fix us up, I need to get that money on the table.
that's one is, all we can do is, half of that's, I can tell you from just me being trained for a month. Half of that is completely just, we don't have contact information. So while we can keep trying to get that, we've got to figure out a way, and that's exactly, I don't disagree, with you. We've got to figure out a way of getting that contact information, because without it, can't even send a certified letter, and half these people are, like I said, Susan and I found yesterday, 3 people that she sent it to, that their addresses weren't correct. Because they don't update their county records either, even if they pay their taxes, they don't update their address there. So it's a process of continuing, like I said, we've got to figure out a way to get contact, but without that, that's some of it, we don't have a way.
So if you as probably the other big board members, well, you might think the plan would give up for whoever does, you're gonna commit to trying to come up with a plan to get better compliance on it.
Yeah.
Before asking for, guys are ready to pay more.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a goal, is to try to get dues collected, absolutely, you always want to plan for that, but.
Well, I think the history too has been 30 or 40% year over year over year for how long they don't pay dues.
That's because we've been accepted over time.
Right, and it kind of all fell by the way, but that's where you lost track of the, I'm not saying you, but I mean, that's where we lost track of the record of who actually owns that property. And then it makes it difficult when,
I won't get in, I disagree with that.
Yeah. so it's, I mean, it's been an ongoing thing, but you're 100% right, there does need to be a plan to get, I mean, really 100% compliance with, asking people to pay their dues when they come due, and then also on the flip side, work on the.
Okay.
past
I
dues.
just want to point it out for all members available here, but, we have a current problem.
Yeah.
Then we have a backing problem. Those get harder and harder.
Yeah. I've tried contacting people and they're dead. Somebody else lives in our house. Nobody knows what happened to their estate. Nobody knows, it's a legal process.
That's not.
Yeah, I understand. That was just an example.
Committee, but, because the board members have things that they need to do to, work on the road, work on the pool, get a group of people that this is your task. Find these people. Get some,
That's something we talked about, getting to committees, we talked about that a few times. Just using members, hey, come help us, we'll work full-time jobs, we're here doing everything we can, but, we need help finding some of these people, and that's when we get signed, we look, but even that, it's kind of, how can we find them, and that's doing it, is getting people
Okay.
together.
One more question and we need to roll on.
That's a quick question, Randall, you had brought up taking it to a collection agency or whatnot a couple times. I don't know anything about that side of the world. I would assume it's average at 10 cents on the dollar. Does any, just quick, did any don't have any experience where you know what the average is on that?
I personally have never used a collection agency, but I would say shop around.
30%. That's not bad.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad to me. It's more than what we in hand than what we have now.
My understanding, that's zero impact. I mean, if they collect them, we just get paid. They're working for us.
And they're also finding out information on those people, where they're at, where they work, where they,
Yeah, they're doing.
which moves along.
Yeah, I think the next board, that they can make that a focal point, Okay, well, that was the last question on that subject, but we need to move on real quick.
Family card, did the last number card, said certified letter. They didn't update it, we got certified letters, you're in the free, you can start putting your name in some cards because you did certified letter, the last number owner of it. That's how we do with our phone company. You do the last registered owner of it, send certified letter, hey, you did your job, start doing your lease and sell it.
Can I just say, can I address that? I hate for everything to go back to money. But we have a approximately, I don't know the exact dollars, but a $330,000 deficit. And we do send certified letters, and oftentimes they come back and it'll say refused, like people won't, they see LTHOA on the envelope, they won't take it. Wrong addresses, and the county even has wrong addresses, because we used county addresses on some of them, they came back. And we find out in that process that people, you know, we find out things when we do it, but I hate to always bring it back to money. But when we don't have money, it's a creepy crawl when we can only do a few at a time because of our money situation.
Yeah, it's not about, all about money, it's about getting our people paying their dues. If they're not gonna pay us, start doing your property. You know, if they
It's
don't
money to
want
get that money.
that's their problem.
How did you think, so your certified letter is $15, you're filing a lien, it's gonna run you $125 for small claims, you can get a judgment that way, I mean, you're talking $150, a lot.
Just like Brandon said, we're breaking even just to pay the bill, not adding to it. But we did win several judgments. But once we get the judgment, then it's up to us to find the people and get an attorney to go through legal due process to collect the money. So if we get the judgment, that's great, but then there's still, we gotta figure out how to get it, because there are no,
I understand how the process works.
what I wanted to say is that a lot of people don't, we don't have social security, we have no socials, we have no places of employment where we can garnish wages, and all of that. You really need a legal representative to obtain some of that information. It's daunting, at the very least, it's daunting to go that route. I mean, we've done pretty good with the ones that took the small claims for, we're way ahead of what we invested to get the few that we got so far. We got a couple properties back, but it is, like I said, I hate to bring it back to money, but it takes money to get money.
Then y'all, with the small plans, what about how much did it cost? Can you give us a ballpark of what it costs before we go?
Well, the ones, if they're local in Oklahoma, it's $50 to $75 to serve. But the type, when they serve them, if they don't answer the door or it's wrong place, it's a waste of money, really. So, but there's no control over that.
The lots that y'all said y'all want, like, 10 or so cases of it.
Yeah, in our judgment, we ask for our costs for filing and all too,
Yes.
and that's usually given to us, but then you still have to get the money out of the person's hand.
But
And-
I'm saying, so right now, like, what it takes. how much money are we at? Say that person never comes back and takes us, how much money are we out on?
50.
Well, some of them I filed twice with a new address, so I would say an average 150-ish on the ones that we could get it or not. We did have one member that we served they went to serve him, and his father had literally, they were serving the father, and his father had just passed recently. And the boy called me and said, we are almost at the end of the estate settlement. He said, can I just pay this so it doesn't mess up the finalizing of the estate? I said, I didn't care who pays it, and he did. And like Randy said, we've had a couple turned back over to us, so hopefully when we sell them, at least we'll recover some of that. But it's a very, I'm all about someone that has the time to research and find people. Because you can, and people that have time to do the digging, it would be extremely helpful, but
Oh, okay,
I have a hard time sending out stuff
we need to get
multiple times.
past these questions, and majority of you are here for the vote, the questions and nominations. Oh, okay, we really need to get this moving on. We have William real quick.
As far as roads and utilities go, starting Tuesday next week, I'm gonna start working, gravel on the roads again. Try to finish everything up, at least get, material on the road. That way, somebody steps into roads later on. they can start working on ditches, maintaining, things like that. I also have an issue back here at the dumpsters. For the second time, somebody's gone back there with an ATV type vehicle and spun donuts. So, I'm gonna say, these guys that volunteered to help me get this gravel down these roads, busted their hind ends. We worked hard to get the roads in the place they are now. I'm a pretty easy guy to get along with. That kicks me off. You're on camera. We also have video, or we have stills of the direction you took when you left. Whether you're listening on video, whether you watch this later, whether you're in this room. You got an opportunity to make it right. I got a rake that'll fix your hand, you go back there and you fix that stuff, the damage that you did, and don't do it again. If not, sheriff will get involved, the sheriff will be knocking on your door, and I will advocate to have that vehicle impounded. Tired of standing out there and asking guys to step up, and fix these roads and try to get things in shape for somebody to damage it. Done. You either step up and make it right, the sheriff will be contacting you, and I will advocate for your APT to be impounded. It's gonna cost you a lot more money doing it that way. That's all I've got on road detail. Yes, ma'am.
Question for you. In the earlier meeting, you made a comment that you're gonna start Tuesday back on other projects with the roads and stuff. I would just like to ask that one of the main things that everybody pretty much hits one way or the other is enter on out drive, that big hole there where you have to like go around to the left side. Thinking about how.
I did this talk with county, they will give us the 3 bags of cold patch.
Okay.
So we said stop by there. One of them was by the store
And I will be doing some work around here. We're gonna fix the handicap spot on the back side of the office for the 10 Hornets, the gravel makes it hard to spot. It's easier for disabled folks to get up that shorter incline than it is on the other side. So we're gonna get that, work that in too, but road work will start, Tuesday morning. So sorry if I wake you up, but there's gonna be dump trucks and equipment running around your neighborhood.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to get we start with the nominations for the next board. Okay, so first thing we want to do is, accept some nominees, mention some nominees. Yes, there was no one.
We couldn't get anyone to step up.
Okay, the meeting is generally one board member and 4 other committee members. And I know that the duration of the committee usually extends into the annual vote period. I don't know why, but that's the way it's written. But didn't get anyone interested. We're still trying to drum up people to get on the election committee right now. There's been a severe lack of people wanting to volunteer, getting involved in the community. Yeah.
There should be some effort put into that. I'm ready on the, so I'm saying, the big board should be some effort into that.
Yes.
I think the minimum.
There was effort put into it, and the answers were no every time we asked them.
And I think the nominating committee for the next board needs to change a little bit because the language in there says that, they basically it puts it as, they go around door to door and find people that, hey, would you be interested in running? Would you be interested in running? I think it should change to, nominations are made in an open meeting. Their job would be to go around and do you accept, yes or no, and put all that stuff together that way. I don't see a use in a nominating committee that just goes around knocking on doors, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Or they have people in mind. It should be the group who decides who runs on the board. Not just the select.
There's probably a better way.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we're back to nominees. Okay, are you nominating somebody? Are you nominating somebody? Okay, well, first of all, can we have your, not everybody knows you. What's your name? Denise Simpson, and you're nominating Mike Riley. Okay.
Where, are you Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're,
what's
you're a
that?
junior, right?
That's it.
Okay, Mike Wright is a junior, right?
Yeah.
Carolyn Schaefer.
Oh, yeah. That would have to be declined, and I will tell you why. I spoke with her yesterday. There are some dues owed.
No.
Yes,
So.
as of yesterday, yes.
Zero. We need.
No. No, there's zero.
As a secretary, there's no unsafe. She trained with the pool with you.
Yeah, it's, they're paid.
Oh, hey,
I get full volunteer.
oh, I apologize. There's another person similar. Yeah, see that there's her last name's Wilson. Sorry, my name's confused. There's a person named Wilson who was interested, but they owed money, and I asked them yesterday. You can still be nominated, but if you pay tonight, you can be nominated, and she declined. You are right. You owe nothing. You are paying. That was my mistake. I got a lot of names running up here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so,
Brad,
And
okay,
Carolyn, do you accept?
good. Thank you. I'm sorry for that. That's my mistake. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, Tibbetts nominated Shane Holland.
And I'm
Okay.
Assuming he's not here.
Is he here?
Absentee.
But he did send a notice that he
Yeah.
doesn't accept that.
Okay, in the back?
No,
Mi-
I don't.
Nani Michelle Benali.
And I actually have a written email that she said she would accept if somebody was nominated her. What was your name again? I'm sorry.
I'm Bella.
Oh, yes, I see that. I need that.
Back reporter, Jack Musgrave. Look in your name, please. Timothy Moore.
Timothy.
Moore.
Moore.
Jack, you said?
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay, great. Okay, going around the room. Any further nominees back in our back row? Casey, you said? We all know who he is.
What's that? Casey? That's- Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Cause there was,
Casey, do you accept?
any further? What's the question? William? Okay, okay, William here is he's accepting nomination to be reelected.
Just to clarify, voting for three positions. Fourth one would be filled.
Yeah. There will be 4 vacancies. Three of those will fill 2-year. Yeah, the one who receives the less number of votes will be only 1 year. That keeps us the 3 and 2. So on,
We talked about that as a board.
Yeah.
because
And-
we would have to do the nomination. So basically, there's 3 positions up for vote and 1 open or 1 vacant position. So the 3 positions will be filled like they normally will, most votes, second most votes, third most votes. We've decided amongst us, the 4th most votes will be the first one appointed. And then the rest of them, as they did it in previous years, will be if somebody resigns or is removed or stepped down, whatever. they'll be-
yeah, there's still 1 year left on a vacant position.
The way I read that, that's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Right.
we
Only elect 3 people this year. Do next one.
Yeah, which the, yeah, slave person will get appointed.
Technically, Highland is correct that the new board is actually the one that would appoint that new person. So they don't have to take 4th highest.
Right.
But most likely, they don't have to, but that is the technical case, yes, sir.
When we talk about.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, seem like, you're correct, the people voted, so their 4th choice would
to me would be the logical. Is there any other nominations?
Over here. The names,
Yeah, when we're done, I'll read it back off.
okay. Well, yeah,
I'll read them all back.
okay, last chance
Okay.
for nominations.
He already is. He is. Yes, ma'am. Jack.
Okay, I think that concludes our nominees, and we have how many total?
2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
Okay, we have 7 nominees, and there will be 4 positions.
Three
Yeah.
positions, voted on one of them.
Board chooses to nominate it.
Right.
So really.
Okay. Yeah, you should only have 3 votes, not 4 on that ballot part. Okay, to restate, Mike Riley is nominated, Carolyn Schaefer, Shane Holland, Michelle Benally, Jack Musgrove, Casey Estep, William Ossobaugh.
What's the question?
No. All right, next.
Are there any questions that we want to talk about, putting on the ballot? We just do nominations for those two.
Question?
So, yeah, I mean, mention motion. I'm motion that we rescind the Airbnb thing and make that part of those again.
Okay, we're not on that item yet. We're still clearing up. Question?
Hang on, hold on.
Okay, we're trying to hear a question in the audience here.
On the Jenko River website, it has the election stats that you had posted. Like the 3 positions, I know we've already discussed that now, but it did say 2 and 2. But it also states on there that the time of the voting is from 8 to 6, when it's actually 8 to 5. And then the other issue is that it states that the BOD meeting is going to be after the BOD meeting, like it states in the amendment bylaw. You got an updated copy?
Yes, right here.
Because I don't, it is on the list.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
I'll get a copy and I'll you send it over.
Yeah, you have a copy. I handed it to you.
Well, I think I wrote on it, so email it to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we did the itinerary showing what happens to happen, what has to happen in order, at what times and dates and et cetera. So, and right now I got 3 blanks at the top of my page. We are still looking for volunteers for the election committee. To date, I know of 1 person who's volunteered to be on that committee. So we're still looking for 2 more volunteers, so, all right. All right, that concludes the nomination portion. Now, if you guys want to go out there and Facebook and put out a plug for yourself, do a little video, I'd really highly recommend it. That's your option, of course, Okay, now, a lot of people here are for those questions. We got anybody from that committee would like to lead that? The questions that came up with? Can you hear me? Good. Okay, now, there were there was a committee, I wasn't there, but there was a committee that had 3 meetings. And it came up with some possible questions. They argued it out, they gave pros, cons. Okay, those people who want to sponsor those questions to put on the ballot possibly need to step forward and one at a time and talk to the members here. And
Kathy,
there's,
come up here so we
and
can-
there's a working microphone. You can just spin it around and talk to that. Talk to the public, not to us.
It's clause. Make a motion to remove the pool attendance clause from the bylaws that says that you have to have a pool attendant, open pool.
That has nothing to do with our bylaws, it has to do with insurance.
No, it's
It's-
I verified all this, I spoke with insurance, it is not on there, but it specifically is in our bylaws, that we have to have an attendant to verify who's using the pool and pay their dues. So that was we have a first and a second, yeah, so is there,
We vote on it?
no, you have a discussion, if anyone's wanting to have a discussion first.
Is there any discussion on this topic, pros, cons? And we're gonna keep the discussion short, okay? Not a lot of, okay, real short. Few questions on that? Becky?
I would, yes, how are we gonna know who and who's going, who and who isn't going in, or whether the dues paid or not? I would advise that we obviously switch to, if you remove that, we'll add a keypad system.
It costs money?
The
Yes.
keypad costs money, yes, there is some extra funds that can be made to do that now, or over a couple period.
I don't see why we should penalize ourselves because somebody else doesn't pay the dues. We should just open the pool and deal with it. If
Well-
anybody wants to maintain it, we can have the security guard make around standing, like when they're out.
I think from what I've heard, most people's concern with that is that if you don't have something, even a keypad system to control people going in and out, making sure, because you change it, you take off keypad, and give what they do, that people that don't even live in the harbor could be going in there and trashing it up, and then you have no way of any type of threat.
Can I maybe phrase that in a different way? Is the risk of having non-members enter the pool good, great enough to not have a pool? Maybe we should look at it that way.
Yeah, a simple, you can get a simple keypad system for like $300. You don't have to go out and get a $1,500 system. You can get a simple $300 one to start with, and then over time, we can do a full raise a fence, do a nice system, but to start off, do a very basic $300 system and make that easy. Yes, ma'am.
Question's been put forward.
Yeah, just in discussion, so the motion's been made, it's seconded, discussion and all of it.
Putting this on the ballot question as an actual question, that's not putting something on the bylaws, it needs to have specific wording stated now, so that we know what's going to be on the
Well,
ballot.
for this one, the only thing motion is to remove that bylaw restriction. Simply enough, once that's done, you don't have to put in there saying we're gonna put a keypad system, because that's the board controls the pools and parks, so they can just simply elect as a board and then put in a keypad system. That way you can solve that, not making it difficult on the wording. Because you can just flat remove it, that's in it required.
Okay, hey, remember on that same question. Who, okay, now I know from personal experience, but who here will go into that pool and clean it? Who? Right now, no one, basically, I think one or two people in this year have helped before, but no one wants to clean a pool. Okay, so you're gonna open it to everybody, but no one's gonna clean it. How long is that gonna last? I'm just throwing that in there. Well, yeah, I understand. You're right. You're right. It's just something. But the volunteer usually goes and helps clean it up, keeps it up to speed and all. So then that would take care of them. There would be no one then. So I just want to throw that in there. So,
I just wanna kind of build on what you just said, if the health department shows up and it's not clean and it's not the way it's supposed to be per state law, they'll shut the pool down and then nobody will go in, keypad or no keypad.
I think more people would be active.
Yeah.
If they could go use it whenever they wanted to.
okay,
I would be willing to go clean it. If I could go swim at 6 in the morning.
yeah.
I do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and four chemical checks per day and the health department will check that. Okay, I understand. I'm just throwing that out there. I think we need I think we need to vote on that.
Okay, one last question, then we're gonna move to the vote.
Put an application.
I think the problem is, like, that might take a month or two, and summer's gonna be over. Like, we just make them full for the whole summer.
That way-
People go stupid island, you just watch. It's like, it's crazy.
Okay. I'm good for that. Okay.
Okay, so the vote, as I understand it, is
I
to,
want to mark down this specifically, I want to check it right, so when I do.
okay, so if 100, tell me if I'm wrong. Like, so the vote is to get rid of a full volunteer requirement and some form of additional security instead,
No,
just get rid of attendant.
just remove the full attendant requirement in the bylaw.
I'm gonna leave the seat pad at four, and we're gonna remove the four to the requirement.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna vote, and what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do this in order, okay? Anybody with a number one who votes for this, if you're voting for it, if you got a number one, hold it up so we can count. Anybody with a plate with a number one who's voting for this, hold it up. We have one, number one. So we have one vote for the ones, okay?
Got it.
Okay, if you vote for this amendment, you have a number two, raise it, please. We have,
Number two in favor.
but we have three number twos. Okay. Okay, next, if you're voting for this and you have a number three, raise it, please. If you're voting for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yes, so
7.
number three, yeah. Number three.
Oh, over there. I didn't see that one. 7. Okay, we had 7 threes. Okay, if you're voting for this and you have number 4, raise it, please.
Whoa.
Keep them up.
19.
19.
Okay, now,
100,
all right,
104, 75% would have been 99.4.
how many we have total
We had 142, 75%, 99
to get rid,
to approve,
To be able to change the. bylaw.
75.
get rid of that?
Well, But that comes at the July meeting.
Yeah, yes, but
This is just a vote, this is just a vote to put it on the ballot.
Oh, get it on the ballot.
This-
This
is-
is on added vote.
This is to put it on ballot.
This motion is to just put it on the ballot for the July annual meeting. It will
So-
have to be voted
So we have more than 50%?
or against
70
in the July meeting.
50% on the ballot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we had 70, we had 77.
Because we have to have the question.
Okay.
Or, I mean, if we did the questions at the annual meeting, they have to be voted on at the annual meeting. On.
To add it to the ballot.
Don't come to This meeting, because we send out a notice stating, here's all the things to put on the ballot to vote on.
Yes.
Anytime there's a bylaw, here, I'll clarify. Anytime there's a bylaw change, the members have to be notified within 45 to 15 days to have time to come to the meeting to vote on that. So, no, ma'am, because this was not put up to the members 15 days ahead of time, that this was going to be voted on.
Not only that, we didn't have the question. Until today.
So you have to have 15 days to have a question for people to think about.
We'll have to do the 15 to 45 day notice and put it on the July ballot to make it legal.
Okay, moving to the next topic, any other? votes?
Okay, so that question will be on the ballot, okay, for next month. All right, next question.
They probably ought to count the no's.
Well, Okay, we have one person I think walked out, but we do have over 50% said yes. Okay, over 50% said yes. It was close to about 75%.
Is there any opposed for us?
They
to
oppose
forcefully
that.
count?
If you're opposed,
For clarification, the health department says that you have to have an attendant who checks the center 4 times a day. So that's not removing that.
No, ma'am.
no, we can't.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we'll still be a board member over full card.
I'd like to make a motion that we rescind the Airbnb rule restriction so that we can have Airbnbs and not give them a monopoly to the 5 people or whoever that has now.
Okay,
Second.
and we did, yeah, just for sake, we did have, I mean, 67% at the previous election voted against that, just FYI.
At first, we had a second.
Up for discussion.
Was this one of the questions in that committee? Just curious.
No, no.
I'm just curious if it was discussing that. So no one discussed it?
There has to be discussion, so the motion on the floor is to remove the
Airbnb.
Airbnb restriction from the bylaws. To allow Airbnbs in the bylaws, and we'll open the floor for discussion.
Any questions, comments concerning Airbnbs?
Going once.
Okay.
Twice. No.
Well, I got a resolution. I'm for it. I charge them more supporting places that they're running and just the restrictions on, it, you know. And checking in with security.
But that comes later. We're not.
Okay.
I'm sure that can be handled by the board. Let me just drop the minutia.
Hold on.
It doesn't give me. I'm able to sit up there on my own. I'm watching the dogs off my porch. My dog has busted between the house. We have to replace that. Not that we think nothing's getting done.
So you can vote
Hey, guys, hey, now you're changing on something else. Because these are single family residence properties.
Listen, everybody in this room has a right to be heard. Please be respectful. She has a valid point.
Yeah, I go along that.
Down just a little bit.
Well, okay, I would go further to say that most of these lots.
Come on.
Okay,
Let's say calm here.
I go further that just understanding in the bylaws, restrictions on, most of the properties that will be affected are single family residential properties. They are not commercial lots. Airbnbs are currently allowed in this neighborhood. Okay, there's the 5 grandfathered ones and all those 50 properties along Indian Road. You can put an Airbnb out there. It's commercial. Okay, so currently Airbnbs are not currently permitted from the neighborhood. They're just prohibited from being on single family residential properties. So just that way. Becky, quick.
that restriction was voted on, it was specific, it stated that an Airbnb with 31 days on. To have something that is more than saying, free for all, Airbnb or whatever, you know, you put whatever, in other words, like it needs to have some more clarification behind it, just to make it. And if you're gonna be like percent done, here, that's in other words, like, what is actually what needs to be written?
Their question was just to check to remove the restriction. Yeah, and it's been motioned twice, so.
And then what the board oversees.
Okay, would the lots longer be single family residential then?
They still would, but it would just, because Airbnbs technically by rule, unless they do over a certain dollar amount, aren't considered an actual business. The thing was, he's asking by the ruling of that, would the worry be because technically you can't operate a business physically at your house? And that was one of the things about Airbnbs, but from my understanding, Airbnbs are not considered businesses unless they make over an X dollar amount. I don't know that specific dollar. But if they're making under a specific amount, they're not considered an official business. So then it wouldn't be under that ruling.
Like as long as our people were abiding by the rules of the harbor, there shouldn't be any problem. It'd be just like somebody was living in town. Same way.
Well, we did have a member mention the not, but yeah, okay, yeah,
Well, kick them out, you know, or sheriff.
Yeah. okay. Beck, William?
I would say something to add to that, and I think it wasn't done and should have been done with the ones that were grandfathered in, is exactly that. If this is gonna pass, the clients of the Airbnb should be required to sign a short little notice that, you know, this is the bylaws in the neighborhood that you're renting this Airbnb in. And, you know, so that way other people aren't, you know, the dogs, they gotta be on leash, they gotta be in the mirror. They, side by side, 25 mph on the main road, 16 mph. They need to know our bylaws, otherwise they don't know what to talk.
You could put that could be like a rule that you gotta put that on your Airbnb. That's all that-
Exactly, and so it's not on the ones, the five that were grandfathered in, because that.
Well, I guess my question for that specifically is, and this is me not knowing, so this is me asking. Is technically, since whether they got grandfathered and changed it. Even if the people that are renting and don't know the rules, technically, in reality, is that owner is still liable for anything they do.
Right.
But there's so it goes to is, they're absolutely, as what Chris was saying, is that nothing, she's feeling something's being done, that means any board predecessor after this is gonna have to say, basically, there has to be fines that they're liable for, so while obviously you're never gonna get people renting it to pay that fine, but Airbnb might be able to force them to pay it. But the Airbnb owner themselves are then gonna have to be subject to those fines, which would be, you know, past hours, trash, reckless driving, any of that, full, any of that, so you would, the assumption would be they already are, so you don't even have to add the rule, because they're already subject to it, it just means going forward, you would hope that board would enforce it.
Somebody has to take responsibility for it.
The board institute a permit for each Airbnb, and if they don't follow the rules, the board pulls the permit, they have it.
There you go.
So, are you agreed on your motion to rescind it, but add a permit
I'm down
system?
with that, yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay. Okay,
It shouldn't be our job to
Well,
force their process.
so then let's go on to
Yeah.
a vote, so it would be,
One quick question for the vote. It also needs to affect the restriction that says that they single family residence. So it's not just say we rescind the Airbnb, because that's another reason to have the Airbnb code. Was because it was not a single family residence, and that's in the restriction.
Right,
okay, sure. So then,
I don't think you would have to actually suspend all single family residences just to allow the B. You could create a different category in license.
well, in general, if there's a permit system,
Are we gonna allow him to go?
who's gonna manage all that?
It would make a difference like, if somebody, like, say if I live in this property.
it did say
and I rented it out, Or if it was me, I could still go to the pool either way, so. If I wasn't here, they were going to place it.
well, you would still put up a keypad system or something, so they would still have a way to get in. Okay, so that vote is to remove the restriction and to add a permit system.
So, is that the wording?
Does everybody understand the question?
What about the rules? You were saying they're gonna have a list of rules that we'll need to make sure they're gun compliant.
That's what your permit system does.
Build that in the permit system.
It'll be the
Yeah,
You can build that in the permit. And it shouldn't be anything more than what the bylaws are for the community.
That'll encourage the people that have the Airbnbs to enforce their.
Right, we
their
expect
clients
you,
too.
yeah.
as an Airbnb owner, to inform your clients that.
If they incur fines, if they don't pay them, they lose the permit, now they're losing money, so they're gonna be more likely to help. Get correct.
I got a question. Is there gonna be restriction on the density of Airbnbs in the neighborhood? Do you want every house on a road being Airbnbs
I
eventually?
think it gets too complicated to get into that.
Okay, well, there are, I'm telling you, there's companies who contact me, one from England, one from Florida, that's sitting ready to buy all your properties out there.
That means.
You gotta be careful about that.
So,
If you want to be on a road,
down a property up trying to sell because we don't give Airbnb. So we're
Yeah.
missing out on news.
Yeah.
People are not buying because we don't do that everywhere else does.
Okay.
So,
Well, and that's what, 100% agree, Chris, on that being where the permit system creates a greater liability. Now a board can legally pull their permit, restrict them because they're not making sure their people are doing stuff, so at least it gives a reason for the board to give the liability on them as well.
So would that affect those ones that have been grandfathered in with the permit system? Could we enforce the permit system with the ones that are like self-planners, like for schools? But I mean, because that would that permit system?
I would assume so. I can't guarantee that, but I would assume. And it may not, but their grandfather already in, but
So we can, from my understanding, with the
Yeah.
grandfather, they also culture. And they're not subject to any.
and the reality is that they are still subject to all the rules, restriction bylaws, so they can, even without them signing a permit.
Still find them.
Exactly.
And I think too, if you go approach those people in the right way, they'll probably get on board with it because. I mean, that's an
Okay,
income.
okay, well,
I
we
think
need,
can get going.
we need to get moving. Okay,
The vote,
all right,
votes yes.
all right, so the question is, rescind the Airbnb,
Add a permit.
and which would include some form of permit system. Where they have to be permitted to operate an Airbnb, and the permit, from what I understand, could be taken away if they don't follow the rules.
Correct.
Basically. Okay, so we're gonna ask for council, everyone who wants this passed, like a yes vote.
Again.
Yeah, okay, so anybody who wants to vote for this, we're asking for your votes, starting with the number ones. You got number one and you're for this, raise it, please. And I ain't seen no number ones. If you have a number two and you're for this, raise it.
Raise it high.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay,
Where's number 5?
okay, if you're for this question on the ballot and you have number 3, raise it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if you have a number 4 and you're for this, raise it, please. Is that a 1 in the back? That's a number 1, isn't it? Oh, that's a 4. Okay, good. No. 58, and that's less than 50%. Just be sure, do we want to do a no on that? Okay, that's less than 50%. We just want to make sure it's less than 50% for everybody. Yeah,
Because you'll have, if it's a bylaw or a restriction notice, we have to notify members 15 days so they can show up and vote in person.
okay. It appears we have about less than 50% of that, but we want to be doubly sure in this count as. We want to count the no votes, okay? If you don't want the change, we want to make sure we get the numbers right since. All right, so if you do not want this on the ballot and you have a number 1, raise it, please. We have number 1. If you're against this ballot question and you have number 2, raise it, please. 6. Okay, if you want no for this ballot question, you have number 3, raise it, please. 1, 4. Okay, if you have a number 4 and you are against this ballot question, raise it, please. Number 4s, if you're against this ballot question.
Hold them high, hold them high.
Well, we can discuss that there, okay? So the count being yays and nays,
Yays was 58, nay was 71.
okay? This ballot question will not be on the ballot. It did not receive sufficient, or anything of 50% or above be on the ballot, and there's not enough support for it in here to put it on the ballot. Any questions? Okay, it was announced at the beginning of this meeting, but
We're
Yeah.
down to 129.
We've had a few people leave. We started at 142 and it's going up and down a little bit. Where are we at right now, Kathy?
okay, well, the yays and nays added together. Yays and nays added together.
129 was total votes at least cast, so it's still over one. Okay. In any
Keep your
case,
good score.
in any case, we're still in a quorum on the votes cast.
Somebody plates over here. You guys have like
Okay, let's go ahead and address, hold on a second. We're gonna get to that in a second. You go.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and Brandy's gonna address that.
Okay, and
Talking to your microphone.
okay, well, first of all, this caught me by surprise, okay? The bylaws were brought up on votes. And it was shown to the board members here that, it allows them to, it's not called proxy, but it tells them that they're allowed to vote, represent others in votes. It doesn't mention proxy votes. It's in the bylaws, so it's there. We saw it. It's not typical. That's first I've understood it that way. They have signed documents from those people authorizing them to vote for them. Yeah, you're right. It caught me by surprise. I didn't know about it until just before the meeting when it was brought up. Okay, and we looked at it and we discussed it, and it allows them to now in the general election. Okay, it specifically does not allow proxy voting in the general election. Okay, but this is not the general election. Yeah, it's, you're right, it is unusual, and like say, think anyone's ever done that before?
Can we, just because like everybody's gotta have the notice to come to the meeting next time to vote for these things, can we just put that on the ballot for that? And if nobody wants to.
We're not
they can
allowed.
vote, yeah.
By the rules, if it's not approved in a meeting 50% or more, we cannot put it on the ballot.
It doesn't have sufficient support, because remember, you need at least 66% to get it changed, and if you can't get voting here, chances are very slim you'll get it voted out for general election. Yeah,
I make a nomination or thank you for the vote. Motion.
Yeah. You got
Okay, I'll make a motion that we don't allow any more proxy votes. If you're not here to vote, you don't get a vote.
that's gonna be a change in the bylaws, which is gonna require 75% on the ballot, 75% to prohibit that. And effective if it gets passed.
But we're not calling this a proxy vote, right? It was a representative.
Well, you could mention proxy, or you can say proxy and or representing other members. Yes.
By our rules, we do allow mail-in voting. We do allow mail-in voting.
But just for the July.
Yeah, the July was verified.
That's what I'm trying to say. If you're ready to vote, then you vote.
Okay, but just to be clear, we didn't know this was happening until the very beginning, and the meeting is getting ready to start, and we discussed it real quick, and we looked at the bylaw. So,
So is this something we vote on?
But it can't do this in a general election. There was already in a second, but you have to discuss it first.
okay, do we have, is any further discussion on this at all? Or?
Does anyone have discussion time on it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The floor is open for discussion on a motion to not allow any type of proxy voting.
Or as it's called in the bylaws, representing others who are not here.
At BOD meetings or.
Right, so,
At regular POA meetings.
Yeah, regular POA meetings or July, which is already in the July one.
but this would only pass if we got 75% and in the annual election. All right, so let's get some numbers. Anybody who wants to make it, All right, so any,
Read the word one more time, she asked to read the word.
okay,
I wanna make sure I got it right too.
so from what I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, the wording is that proxy voting or representing other members is prohibited in the annual and public meetings.
Let's be in first. That's a little more.
Okay, well, all right, because there's annual and then there's special. Yeah, there's different. Yeah,
It's already, it's already,
July,
yeah, because it's already in the bylaws.
yeah, no proxy meeting. I can just say member meetings.
Member meetings covers that.
Okay, so proxy voting and or representing others is prohibited and member meetings. Does that sound like it covers it?
For these ones, it's supposed to be anyway, so that takes care of it. So
What does it exactly say, where, that's the word we need to put on there, to remove that from our bylaw.
Yeah.
Period, whatever it says in the wording that you're going by.
Yes.
That's what needs to be put on.
Yes.
The
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we're losing people.
We are losing people.
We need to get moving. We need to get things
So
moving.
It's fully full discussion, absolutely, so please stay, because a lot of these things are important to a lot of people, please don't leave.
So what it states in here is, if however such members in attendance entitled to vote shall have the power to adjourn the meeting for a maximum of 2 hours without notice, other than announcement of the meeting until a quorum as aforesaid shall be present or be represented. So being it states or represented, it gives an opening that, it doesn't say you can't have a representative for you. So it left it open, it never says removing or represented.
Wouldn't that be if you don't have a quorum at the meeting?
Hey, we need to remove the representative.
Wait a minute, I want to, William, for a second, put your microphone.
The way that read is, at least the way I interpreted it, it sounded like if there's not a quorum at the meeting, the members could say, okay, stop. We're not gonna continue this meeting until we get a quorum.
They can go out
And
2
then
hours.
that would take place. I'm just asking, there was a quorum already in the room, so that.
Proposed amendment to the thing.
I'm saying that the bylaw may not allow it.
It's giving out the right to
Can I see it?
Yeah.
I get that question.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, yeah.
But there is a valid point there that because there is a quorum, then you wouldn't get those, you only would be able to say, if there isn't a quorum, you could then get on the phone, call people, and go, yeah, you can represent the solution.
So the whole,
You must.
it's a whole chapter 3.044.
I think that was solved.
Hey, look, yeah, let's just.
Hold on.
Wait, so we can all understand. 3.044. The presence at the meeting of members entitled to cast 5% of the vote of the membership shall constitute a quorum. For any action except as otherwise provided in the declaration or in the bylaws. If, however, such quorum shall not be present or represented at any meeting, the members in attendance entitled to vote shall have the power to adjourn the meeting for a maximum of 2 hours without notice. Other than announcement of the meeting until a quorum as aforesaid shall be present or represented.
But we have a forum.
But
That's my question.
That's before the representative part of the clause. You have enough for representative. They not have a forum.
So I guess my question is, should those proxy votes or representative votes even be allowed to be counted until
We don't have a
we
quorum.
determine we don't have a quorum, and then they can hold the meeting.
2 hours.
Call your buddies on the phone, tell them how to get off the lake, we need you in here, or represent for somebody? That's the question I'm asking.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
I don't know.
That's what I said.
Why don't we start thinking and bring it back to the next meeting?
Well, we've already got. a
The
vote
vote's at the
to
next meeting.
move it Regardless anyway. Now, people- yeah, Move on. Well, let's move on until we get through that.
Okay, someone's got a question here in the front here.
have a question here. I just wanted to explain that a quorum is different from a present vote or a proxy. A quorum is, do you have enough people who know about this meeting for it to take place? There's a number for that. And then the other question is, how many votes do we have representatives? So, representative proxy votes, a proxy is carrying a vote for somebody else. So it may be possible, look at the number of people present. Are there enough people present to make a quorum? Because I'm pretty sure, I don't have a copy of my list in front of me, but I'm sure that term is present. So that's actually how many people you have to get the meeting started, and it goes until somebody calls for quorum. Proxy has to do with how many votes you count when there's voting that takes place. So that's gonna be the number of people who are authorized to state an opinion about that question. So proxy has nothing, a quorum has nothing to do with a proxy. They're two totally different concepts. Okay, we don't even need to have a discussion about quorum. If we, I don't.
I think because we have learned this today, what was brought to our attention today, we are allowing it. Because the language is not such that it's gray area and we're going to allow it today. The motion is for future, what are we gonna do in the future?
And at this time, the votes we've had, none of them have been, they have
Close.
six,
They
they
have
have six
closed.
total. None of them have been close
They're
enough at
close,
6
yeah.
points to actually change
It
that.
would have made a difference.
Okay, so the question,
With the,
the motion that's on the floor has to do with proxy voting, not with the quorum. So, and because this is a membership meeting, not a board meeting, the board doesn't vote like this. The board merely chairs the meeting, really Randall. The board chair, for membership.
okay, well, we can roll on.
Okay, we're starting to lose people. We need to get this moving on. Okay.
It doesn't have to go on ballot. We can vote. We're gonna look at tomorrow.
Yeah. we're
Okay,
gonna-
so what's on the ballot? That's the whole purpose of this today.
Okay.
On the ballot.
It's, so we've already had second.
Okay, prohibit representing others in member meetings.
On member meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, we have a question on the ballot to prohibit proxy / representation in public meetings and voting. All right,
We'll get the word tonight. We know.
okay.
All the ones,
If you-
yes.
If you want to prohibit, raise number ones.
One first, Paul.
We have one. If you want to prohibit that, number twos. Oh, wait, you raised your number one late. Somebody raised the number one late. We got two number ones.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number two.
Twos, raise your hand, raise your paddle there.
Word.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, so the question on the floor is,
Have it, Brett.
Okay,
this is the question. All right, hold on.
Come on, guys. Stop
We'll
yelling.
get to this.
okay, we're gonna go over it again. Okay, it's about the
This is
third
the
time.
question.
Listen up, no talking, so you can hear, okay? You can't talk and listen at the same time. All right, so the ballot question would be to prohibit proxy votes or representing others during member meetings. Does everybody understand that? Okay, if you want to prohibit, we're asking for votes from people who want to prohibit proxy voting and representing others in member meetings.
If you
We're counting
do
that
not
out.
want to allow proxy or represented voting at POA meetings, number one,
Great. Number ones, we got one person now. We had two before. Okay,
number two,
we have one. And number twos,
you're voting to put on the ballot. Number two, to put it on the
Twos,
ballot, do
one.
not allow
oh, you want to,
proxy or representative.
you wanna
voting.
prohibit?
Number two.
okay, they want to prohibit two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
How many did you?
They have 3 twos up. But I counted 7.
You counted
Okay, number threes.
Number three, to prohibit, hold on.
seven.
Yeah, I counted 7. There were 7 up.
Hold them up high.
Two, hold up two.
No,
again.
two.
Number two.
1,
Number
2,
two, hold
3,
up high, keep them up.
4, and they got 3. They got 3 right there. 7. All right. So
Okay,
number 7's now. I mean, number threes.
to prohibit proxy
1, 2,
voting
3,
or
4, 5, 6, 7,
represented
8,
voting on
9.
the ballot.
I see 9.
On the ballot.
9 threes. If you want to prohibit the proxy voting and all, then raise your number 4s. Yeah, you're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Keep them up.
You counted 23.
yeah. Yeah.
134 for yes, I'm not counting the no.
Okay, so that will be a question on there. We want to prohibit that. All right, let's move on. Thank you for, yes, in the back.
Let's just allow chickens, no roosters, what type of number do we want to, open for that and then you can close? Chickens with restrictions, open at 4 for comment on who, what, when, where, why. I move to change restriction article 7 to read no animals or birds other than household pets in a maximum of 6 laying hens. No roosters, no roosters per household. Dogs will be permitted only if continuously contained by a leash or within fenced area. Chickens must be kept in a fully enclosed hutch or pen with a roof that has approval by the architectural committee for construction, with composting permitted to be done on property of the chicken waste. No dogs or chickens are allowed to wander loose anytime. I second that motion.
Second.
Okay. Okay, so I did hear specifically chickens, so any other kind of fowl like ducks and peacocks and stuff? No, just chicken, and no roosters.
All that she read, the motion is to change the bylaw to allow chickens, no roosters. They must be in a coop or a pen, they cannot free roam, and a limit of 6 per household. Why do they use odd numbers? Why can't we use even numbers? Let's make it 8.
No, we're gonna.
No,
discuss it.
it's gonna be voted.
Members have right to discuss.
The floor is open to discuss. Is there anybody? Lucinda?
Okay, just
I have a question.
okay.
If this passes, if the passes are, because then we get into the business deal, are they gonna be allowed to sell or is this just for personal consumption?
I was gonna bring that up in discussion. I think it should be limited to personal consumption only. It should be stated in the bylaws. That way there can be no.
I'm agreeable to personal consumption.
That way there can be no
Well, I got
accusations that
a question.
discriminates. You could grade away your neighbors.
Okay.
Charge $2 a dozen.
If you are, that's your opinion.
Okay,
Think about it, raise or even if we agree. We gotta have, you don't have to bring it up, figure out, I'm not want what you don't want. It's not, this motherfucker.
Easy. Now, this is to put that question on the ballot, to change the bylaw.
oh,
to
okay,
allow chickens
As I understand it, just if you got multiple lots, let's say you got one family and you own 10 lots, okay, you're still 6 chickens, right? No matter how many lots, no matter how many lots you have, total to the property owner, okay, just making sure. Okay, I think we need to get this to vote real quick, you know. Any more discussion?
Any more discussion?
Okay. So could you just read that off request, make sure they know what they're voting for? Yeah, okay. That should through.
Chickens and ducks, chickens and ducks. Does anybody
Duck
have a discussion on,
and
approving
ducks.
ducks? You have to approve ducks. Chickens and ducks. We're okay with that? And we take a vote.
Okay,
Number one.
if you're for this question, ballot question, raise number ones, raise your number one.
Number one,
If you're for this resolution,
if you want to put this on the ballot,
and I see
Raise
no
your
number
number one.
ones, not, oh, there's one in the back. Okay, if you're for this resolution and you have number two, raise up.
number two, to put this on the
One,
ballot,
two, three,
vote on it in July.
four. I see four. If you're for this resolution, you have a number four plates, raise them.
Number three,
Oh, three, yeah,
number threes.
Yeah.
Four, putting this on the ballot.
three, four. I see four. One, two, three, four. Where's? One. Oh, one behind, there's a three behind a three.
Hi, keep
Yeah.
threes up.
Yeah, one behind another person.
Thank you.
So back up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a 3?
Threes are up. To put this on the ballot, threes are up.
Five. Right, okay, five. Okay, number four is
Number
raised.
fours.
If you're for this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, actually 13. 15, okay. 84, and that's over half. That's over half of the votes present.
That
Yeah,
passes.
he's at close to 75%, that will pass.
So that will pass.
That will be a ballot question. We have over half.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Is all the PUA?
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to dissolve the POA.
So it's still to be voted on in July.
Okay, and then that would require 75% for dissolution.
And
And
the,
remember, it won't happen overnight because it's a lot of prep, but yeah, I understand.
right, the floor. the
Okay, we have,
floor-
so we have a vote that this, to,
Like I say, it's by follow the direction of the chart. So everybody.
So thing I got, everybody, I think everybody calls that. Yeah. Free. But it's like, oh. $45 a month card, you got security. That pays everybody. The road don't press me. I think that's my business. That's what I do. Road. I've been doing it for 29 years. I'm not pressed. So it really don't matter. I love all my neighbors here. I don't know half y'all and half y'all. I don't have a problem with that.
okay, what we do have it, in case you're not aware, we do have an existing committee discussing that right now. Okay, it's because we have a few years left, and are we gonna dissolve or are we gonna renew? There's a committee going on right now. Question, at the back?
No, we still gotta vote, man. There still has to be a vote on it. You made the motion to vote on this. There still has to be a vote.
Express some. Solve that. But guess what happens? If you don't today, these restrictions still happen. And you pick on neighbors who have, and you can still sue you for violating those restrictions. So restrictions stay with the land. How do I know that? Because we have a title done.
You're not using it, Mike.
Is it turned on? Oh, battery might be getting low.
You go to a legal representative and they do it correctly, and then you go to your abstract title company, they know that in your abstract, it can be done. Correct. You have to have that, where it is involved.
Well, the person that wanted added left. If the person wanted added left.
The restrictions follow the manual. If you look at the restrictions for any kind of the first two counties, it was your original and it was a different. Take out, get it to follow the land, restrictions follow the land. But that's it.
Airbnbs and being legal here.
The reality.
Okay, I just want to say we have I just want to say we have a committee actively working on that same exact question, and I'd rather have a clean, smooth decision that they're working on right now than. Okay, well, okay, I'm a member too, and I get to have opinion also, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Becky's got her hand up, got a question here, or input. Becky, go for it.
What I would like to do is for the motion to dissolve the POA, it needs to actually be, it's a legal process, as Lucinda stated. There are steps that you have to take before it ever happens. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to get, my motion would be to say that not just the new coming board, but proceeding boards after such has to continue the community or whatever you want to use to get a legal, not legal, a real estate lawyer that will work with the whole community and but we're gonna have to change your restrictions. If you don't change the restrictions, then you leave LTA away in there, if you leave your dues amount stuff in there, or if you provide a trash, that means something, I mean, in other words, like, you're gonna have to rewrite the whole restriction that
Yeah, you're right, we're losing people.
So my motion.
We could set up another meeting, but we have to make sure we get it, have time to go on a ballot. We could.
Done,
So
okay?
I got a question about the, like, the property and stuff that we have here, if we were gonna do that too, can't, like, did we sell some property already, like the water company, maybe that place up at the very front that used to be the office or something, and if that's the case, can't we just sell all this stuff too, like the pool and this community center, sell it all, take that money and redo the roads too, before we dissolve?
Yeah.
Before we dissolve and just redo everything, everything's good for like later.
It's not like it's getting any really wide, it's not getting any.
Right.
I don't get rid of it. The pool is gonna cost us what, $40,000 to cover it, fix it, repair it. So why fix something like that? Fill it in with dirt. Or sell it as is. What are y'all expecting to gain from it? I mean, no, I think
if we,
Oh.
didn't, that when we do, dissolve the POA or dissolve the way you would say, that somebody else has to come in and take it.
If we don't get it sold beforehand, that's turned over to the state. If we don't sell it before.
Put this towards the roads. How much do you expect from selling it?
I have no idea, except do the break.
All right, how much are the roads gonna cost?
Thank you, we'll call you.
I don't forget.
Yeah.
Do we,
Close park. So, I mean.
how can we get to move it on?
Yeah,
That's, we can do with the money. and then we don't have to-
Okay.
Okay, we're kind of losing the meeting here. We need to press on.
Oh, we got one more comment up here, Becky wants to do one more comment, hold on.
Okay, Becky question, and then we're gonna vote. Becky question, we're gonna vote. Go ahead, Becky.
It's a big, long, that's what I call, post that states in there, it's like everybody's constantly saying, you know, like, well, this thing here can turn into, you know, an alcoholics anonymous place. If this is going to be given away, it has to go to a charity, a church, that's what our articles and corporations says. If we're worried about what can and cannot be moved in here, we don't want to know who's gonna be using the pool, it's just gonna strictly be a nudist company, whatever, okay? In other words, like, there are things that we can take steps of, and that's why I made a statement about not just the new board, but the next board, and the next board, up until the time that we have everything, PQ, whatever, okay? We don't want somebody to take over the pool, fill it in. We don't want somebody to take over this, tear it down and sell the scrap metal. If we don't want somebody, to have the bathrooms or the office or the, even the boat ramp parking, okay? Take all of that, take our responsibility is to take care of it all. Then there's gonna be all of these land lots. I don't know if you guys realize how many lots the LTA board actually does own. If those people want to like start buying them, put more people out here, whatever, then we're gonna control it that way. I'm just saying in other words.
Okay.
if you have all that extra money, You take all of that money, you fix our roads. Okay? But you can always have like, ask them, well, what are you gonna do about our roads? Well.
James, you have something to say about job before everybody started interrupting?
Well, the same thing you said.
I tried to call on that, yeah.
We need representation,
Exactly.
period.
Okay.
I don't care if it dissolves in 2030 or dissolves from a vote now. We need to
I'm
have
sure-
representation that is qualified and that specializes in that, so that it affects everyone that you in here and people out there. That's all I care.
Can I just suggest that we table this for now and maybe have a special meeting next week or the week after? So we can get some information. So I mean, I know there's some other things that people want to vote on. We're losing the quorum really fast. There's gonna be a lot of discussion in this, and I don't think it's right for.
He's already posted it on the table.
I'm asking to table the motion, and we'll address it in 2 weeks at a special meeting.
If you wanted to vote right now, the quorum's still in here right now.
Probably don't, probably won't.
I'm just saying.
I think it's an important issue, it needs to be discussed, but we better have our ducks in a row if we're gonna do something like that.
And no meeting, I think.
I mean, that's what everybody.
Those things that be going on audio of what somebody else's
Exactly.
experience was.
100%.
We need a representative
Right, yeah.
that looks at
100%.
our laws and our
Yeah.
codes and makes that
If we don't-
determination.
Right, but
Googling, I can Google. things all
I
day.
think we're-
exactly.
We're losing
We need-
people, man.
We need, like you said, a real estate attorney, and I think
It happens.
we should.
It happens.
Right.
They're
I think-
tired of
I
people
think we
direct-
should table it and start questioning that before we make a big decision like that.
Yeah, they don't want to vote for it, yeah.
Where are we at here? All right, so let's get back. Okay, everyone, I need to start with, everyone that has a one, raise your hand.
Yeah, we're just counting, we're counting votes that are in this room.
Crystal.
If we're just counting votes that are left in this room to see if we still have a quorum, if you got one, hold it up. If you got one, hold it up.
It's not about.
I don't see any ones.
One.
I'll find it back. Okay, if you got a two, raise it. We're just counting votes. See what's left in the room. Okay, now we're counting number three. If you got a three, hold them high. Three, hold them high. That's a two, drop the two. No, you're number two, drop it. Yeah, all right. We're counting threes. All right, okay, now we're counting fours. Okay, I got one back here. And we need, you say, we still have 103, we still have a quorum here, so
Okay, so
I'd say we get this,
We're gonna take that other motion.
yeah, we're gonna table that motion, we have a committee running. Okay, there needs to be some further discussion on this, and they're gonna call a special meeting for folks to show up.
Special meeting for everybody.
Yeah, everyone is gonna be invited to it. So, and we're gonna have this done before the cutoff for the ballot question, so we'll make sure. Yeah, you're right. Right.
Next question.
Okay, were there any further?
I mean, any further discussion, no further discussion.
The responsibility People,
What?
real estate lawyer, to figure out what's going on.
Is Crystal even here now?
No, she left.
So we've lost the person who put the original motion on anyway.
If the person who submitted the motions left,
I tabled it before she left, so I think we should still have the discussion before,
Well, they can put,
afterwards,
she's putting on another motion,
so that would be a good.
this is a motion that is enacted now, basically you're telling the board to get a real estate lawyer to start looking at this. So does anyone second that?
I
motion?
second that.
a real estate lawyer,
Is that free?
no.
Unless you know, real estate lawyer that works for a phone.
Yeah, okay, let's go straight to the votes. Got a one.
I can't hear you in the back.
All right, hey, quiet down. So the motion on the floor is to the board to get with a real estate lawyer
Get facts.
to get facts to see what happens with the,
If we,
with the dissolving of the PLO.
I
This board and future board.
so that's just telling.
don't think that needs to be
That's
a,
not- That will go to.
the board can do it. The board can do it without a
I don't
vote.
think that needs to be a motion or voted on though, because the board.
Board can go contact and get it working.
do that on the-
We can do that, but this forces it to change boards.
Yeah, okay.
And this doesn't go to the ballot in July, that's next now.
Right, it's like, I think the order.
So here, how about this? So how about this? The motion needs to be, all right, the motion needs to be to task the board of directors now and future
Yes,
to get with a legal, a real estate attorney to investigate dissolving the POA.
just what all the information what happens,
Right.
so we know all the facts.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else that we want to vote on before we search more?
I did want to put one forward before anybody leaves.
That was again.
Yeah, we'll just, like that. So, you want to make a motion?
Yeah.
That's an insurance problem. Our insurance company doesn't allow it.
Yeah.
If we do it, then we would lose our insurance.
That's also not a bylaw or a restriction, that's the board sets the rules.
Yeah.
True.
Has to
Yeah.
allow it. Because actually, I told, since you were at the meeting this last time, we spoke about it. And you can allow alcohol, but you can also put restrictions on it, but if you're serving alcohol, you have to have a. Yep.
Okay, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I remember we talked to the insurance company, and I think Becky was there. And they told us,
With them 3 weeks ago about this, someone asked, the insurance.
That's a board decision as far as I'm concerned, and it can.
yeah, it is. It's a public area.
Hey, I'd like to make a motion real quick before we lose the corn. I'd like to make a motion to set quarterly POA meetings, including the July meeting. We would be required to have the July meeting, which is already in the books, plus 3 other POA meetings throughout the year divided evenly. So we'll have 4.
Seconded.
Second.
POA meetings. No, everyone votes yes.
Yes.
That's every single vote, got it.
Thank you. I got my word in.
Make a motion to, we put the sign back up, like we start notifying when the meeting is gonna come sign. I don't have Facebook and stuff, but I don't.
That was actually a sign right back there. I seen it in there the other day. A metal realistic type sign.
Thank you. Somebody, please.
We got a motion on the floor to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Very-
All in favor?
Alright. You guys want to hang around for a few minutes? You guys want to hang around a few minutes? Okay, let me shut this off.
Bye.